Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my early pregnancy symptoms and how I knew I was pregnant before I actually found out I was pregnant, or what led me to take a test in the first place and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to keep watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button so you guys can follow us along on our little family's journey, and let's get into the video. So the first symptom I would say is the most prevalent symptom that I feel like a lot of people do before they actually take a test is having a missed period. Now, I always have really irregular periods, so having a missed period to me wasn't that uncommon. I've gone 2 months before without having a period and then end up getting it and I'm fine. And it's just always been that way for me. But this one was significantly longer than normal. I think I ended up waiting 19 days from the day that I should have gotten my period. And I usually start a week earlier than I'm supposed to start. But like I said, this one was a little bit different because of all the other symptoms that I was having. It was just a little bit more nerve-wracking, I guess. I did some backtracking on what my last period was, and at the time I was 7 weeks. And I was thinking, I was like, how can I be 7 weeks pregnant when my last missed period that I had a week prior to that, I had taken a test and it was negative. I know it could have been a false negative, but like I said, I got a period right after, but that period was way different. It was super light and it only lasted 3 days. Actually, the first day I was spotting. The second day was really light but just kind of normal, and then the last day I was pretty much done. Again, I didn't think anything of it, especially because just a week before I had taken a test and it was negative. So for the first 2 months of my pregnancy, I was just so overly tired. All I wanted to do was sleep. All I could do was sleep. I just physically could not be awake. I would sleep all day and I would continue to sleep all night. I was just always asleep. I was maybe up like 6 hours out of the day, and through that I wasn't really eating because I was asleep. His grandma was noticing that I wasn't eating and that I was sleeping all the time. She's like, are you feeling okay? Like, are you sick? Because, like, remember, this was middle of COVID. Like, this was kind of, like, right at the beginning. It was May of 2020. I was like, no, I'm fine. I don't have a fever. I'm not, like, sick. I don't feel sick. But I'm not hungry and I'm super tired all the time. And she, at that point, she said that she knew, but she was just waiting for me to tell her. But I couldn't tell her because I didn't even know myself. After about a week of not eating, she was starting to notice that I wasn't eating. More and more she was noticing, because she thought I was at least eating a little bit, but at this point she was noticing that I pretty much was not eating at all. I was also dizzy from not eating, so I was dizzy, tired, and just not eating. And she was like, well, you're probably dizzy because you're not eating, so you have to eat something. So she went out and got some food, and she brought me back fries, and that was probably the only thing that I could actually eat and not feel sick of, because everything that I had tried eating that past week, I couldn't. Everything that I normally like bagels, I couldn't eat bagels. I felt super sick. Just everything that I normally ate, I was just super sick to even think about. And I never really threw up during my pregnancy, but everything just made me really nauseous. I just didn't want to eat anything. Everything that I normally ate just sounded really gross, like especially red meat. I would just crave Chick-fil-A all the time. That's all I really wanted was just chicken. I hadn't wanted red meat, like steak or burgers, like pretty much my entire pregnancy, and I love burgers. It was just weird not wanting the foods that you normally eat. So at this point, though, of me being super nauseous, me missing my period, all these food aversions, and just me, like, just everything on top, I was already pretty convinced, but these next symptoms were just added on to where it was like, okay, you should probably take a test. So I know a lot of women experience breast pain while they're on their periods, but I was not one of those. I never had any type of breast pain or soreness during my period. So when that started happening, I was thinking, I think I might actually be pregnant. They were like shooting sharp pains. It felt like pins and needles were going through my chest. And I never really experienced anything like that. And it hurt so bad. I like legit thought I was dying. I thought something was wrong with me. And it hurt so freaking bad. So the last symptom I'm going to talk about is my emotions and how your hormones are just changing my emotions were so high. I was so sad and crying and just emotional so much. So imagine how emotional you are on your period. Times that by like 100, that's how emotional you are when you're pregnant. It's honestly not fun. Like, you get sad over everything. You overthink everything. At least in my experience, I overthought everything. I was just thinking that everybody hated me. Not hated me, but like, you know, basic girl emotion. My emotions were just through the roof. Like, everything was my fault. It was pretty bad, but I worked through it. It didn't really get better. It ended up continuing up until after I gave birth, but you know, we're working through it. I'm 6 months postpartum now. My emotions are a lot more normal. They probably went back to normal around 3 months ago. So like 3 months postpartum is probably when I started feeling more mentally normal. So those are pretty much just the early symptoms that I personally experienced. I didn't really have a lot of symptoms that normal pregnant women do up until like my late 3rd trimester, like a few weeks before I gave birth. Like the having to pee very often, that didn't happen until way late in my pregnancy. So that is pretty much it for this video. If this was helpful to you guys at all, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you guys are experiencing any of this stuff right now, this is your sign. You probably should go take a test. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you guys can follow us along on our little family's journey. If you guys want to be notified every time I post a new video, you guys can hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.